Hi guys, in this video I wanted to have a go at making buttercream stripes. I've seen it on quite a few videos, so I thought I'd give it a go. So I'm starting with a cake board that's about 3 inches or so bigger than my cake. I've got a 6-inch cake that I'm working with. Now I cooked a few little layers because I want a fairly tall cake. And I'm just using some buttercream in the filling. And I've mixed it with a nice pale purple. And I'm just going to build up all my tiers of cake. Now I've just caught the corner of that one a little bit, but we'll fill that in with buttercream later. So I'm going to keep going, layering this up. Those of you that watch my videos will know I don't do a lot with buttercream, so I thought we'd experiment and have a bit of a go, see how I get on this one. And I'm going to put 4 layers of cake in this one. That's our top layer added. Don't worry if the buttercream sticks out a bit from the side. And I've just got a vanilla sponge, and I've actually put a little bit of rose flavouring in my buttercream because I like rose flavouring. And let's put a layer of buttercream now over our cake. So I'm going to start with the top, smoothing it off just a little bit, and I'm just using an offset spatula to add this with. And my first layer is really just a kind of crumb coat. So once we've got this first layer on, we're going to put it in the fridge. Okay, so I'll just smooth the top a little bit more. This layer shouldn't have to be perfect because this layer is not actually going to be seen. So pop that in the fridge, and I'm going to leave it in my fridge for about half an hour. And we're going to have a go with the cake comb. This one's got quite wide grooves in it, but let's see what it ends up like. And let's put another layer of buttercream now on our cake that we've just got out of the fridge. So I'm going to put it on quite thick because it needs to be deep enough for the cake comb to go through, and the cake comb is going to take quite a bit back off. So again, we've put some on the tops and the sides, and we're just going to scrape around. And I've got a metal scraper here, but you can use any kind of scraper, like a plastic one, metal, whatever you're going to find easiest. So I'm going to try and smooth it off. I think maybe the more times you do this, the easier it does get. Like I say, I haven't done this very many times. Just going to fill in some of the bits where it looks like I've not put enough buttercream on. And the buttercream I've used here is just icing sugar with butter and just a little bit of shortening mixed in as well. Not too much, just vegetable shortening, but not as much as the butter. I'll put a recipe in the description box below the video as well. And what we're going to do now is just run our cake comb through that buttercream. So I'm actually going to take off quite a bit of buttercream because the comb, can you see the teeth in it are quite deep? I'm going to try and keep it upright. This for me was the hardest bit, was just trying to keep it upright. So some of my stripes were thicker or stuck out more than others, where I was pressing a little bit harder at the bottom compared to the top. And just keep going around. At first it looks very messy, so I need to just keep going around. So I'm going to hold it more at an angle, so I'm sloping it more towards me to see if we can straighten those lines up a bit. So the more I went round it, believe it or not, the neater it did actually get. And then I put that back in the fridge again for about 20 minutes this time, just till it firms up. And I've just got some normal plain buttercream, so no colour added to this one, and I'm just using a big piping bag to kind of squeeze in between our stripes. Now I haven't gone particularly neatly, but I'm hoping this will just fill in when we scrape back over. So this should fill in the gaps. I'll just do this one side first just to show you. Splodging it out on there. And I think I literally only just did enough buttercream. So I used 2 blocks of butter in the whole amount of buttercream to cover this cake. So there's quite a lot of buttercream. But then we scraped quite a bit off, or we do scrape quite a bit off. I'm just using the other side of the scraper, so the straight edge now, but you can swap to just a different scraper. As long as it's got a straight edge, it's fine. And I'm going to keep pressing. So at first it kind of pushes my white over my purple a little bit, but the more I go over it, the neater it does look. I can tell though when I've gone to a certain depth, it's going to the bits of buttercream that are cold, and then I lose the smooth edge when I start scraping into the cold bits. So, oh, we've got some bits missing back here. So let's just fill those in with that tiny bit of buttercream I've got left. See if we can get it to spread that far. And then let's scrape back over that. Maybe go around a little bit more, but I think I'm going to leave it. And all I'm going to do is just add some chocolate drip to the top. So I'm cheating and just using some pre-bought stuff because it's ready coloured for me, so it's nice and easy. Again, I'll put links in the description box below the video where you can get this from. Now I'm just taking off the lid and pouring it on the top here. And all I've done was I've microwaved this bottle for like 30 seconds and it's runny enough for me to use on my cake. Just make sure it doesn't feel hot to the touch though when we put it on, as we don't want the chocolate drip to actually melt our buttercream. If the cake's very cold, the chocolate drip will set quite fast. If the cake's not overly cold, it'll give you a few minutes before it starts to set. Now I just had a little bit of this chocolate drip left in the bottle, so it only just covers my cake. And then I'm just going to add some little sugar daisies. Again, I did cheat and I just bought some ready-made ones on this cake. So this one really was more just that I wanted to have a play around with the buttercream stripes to see if I could do it or not. And then you can decorate it however you want. So I thought, because it's Easter coming up, I thought the little daisies would look quite cute. I just push that into the buttercream there. Maybe some little sprinkles. So my sprinkles, I've got some little flower shaped ones. And there's some purple and white that will kind of match the colour of my stripes. So we'll stick some of those on there. And to cover my board, because it looks a bit untidy while it's just silver, I've just rolled out some pale green fondant, a nice long strip of it, long enough that it's going to go all the way around my cake board. Excuse my head and shot there. So just overlap it at the back. Usually I cut through. I was just seeing if I could blend it down with my fingers. You can see the line a little bit there, so maybe we could put a flower on that bit. Let's just cut off all the extra from around the edge, so it's in line with the edge of my silver board. Once I've gone all the way around, I'm just going to put a ribbon around. So you can stick it on with double-sided sticky tape or a Pritt stick, or you could even pin it onto the board as long as the pin's not in the cake. And then you can top it with whatever you fancy. So this is a model I made for last week's YouTube video. I'll put a link to the bunny video up on the screen now for you. So there it is, all finished. This one's quite a quick one compared to what I would normally make. So I wanted to try and avoid fondant on this one, as I know some of you don't like fondant. And it was a nice experience for me trying to play with buttercream and do the stripes. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good Easter. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and leave me a comment below. You can see more of my tutorials by clicking on the images on screen now. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button to stay up to date with my future tutorials. There are also links in the description box below where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram and more.